Welcome back to Set Streets Needs, guys. I'm Chris Bauer. I am in Lynnwood, Washington today, which is just north of Seattle, Washington, in front of a building I've been here before, or a building I've been to before. And this is a former Chuck E. Cheese, which was a former Showbiz pizza place. This, of course, is the Chuck E. Cheese in Lynnwood, Washington that closed last year. And I thought I'd stop by here, talk a little bit about the history of this location. It is abandoned and going to be closed or demolished soon, and we'll talk about why. But I thought it'd be cool to talk a little bit about the history of why this place was unique, and I hope you guys will join me. Let's talk about it. So I do remember on the corner of that building they had a sign that used to hang right there. And the only thing that really remains that says Chuck E. Cheese is, of course, the old early 90s awnings that they still have above the windows, which is cool. They left those because, of course, those don't have any actual signage on them. Chuck E. Cheese, see if we can see anything through the doors. Oh yeah. Check that out, guys. Hold on, let's see if I can get some light in there. There we go. Thank you there. So right on that wall, I remember, you can see the outline of it. So you can even see that old Chucky piece with him in the tuxedo with the lenticular eyes that would follow you. I think that was like a phase 2 piece, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll put a shot of it up because there was a whole series of all the characters. And then that used to hang right when you came in. And then you continued to store. They had great art in the store, as you guys, I'm sure, remember. So a little bit of history about this store. This location opened in 1986 as a Showbiz. It was an actual relocation of a Showbiz from just down the street. Of course, had a 3-stage with the Rockefeller explosion in it. It was that way until the early 90s, either 91 or 92, went through concept unification. Still had a 3-stage, but now it was Munch's Make Believe Band, but they were still former CEI-built bots. That was that way for another 9 years until the year 2000. That was when the bots got the ceramic bots from Spokane. Spokane's former Pizza Time Theater closed, and they changed to Chuck E. Cheese there. Or they either closed down or moved to Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know exactly the story behind that one. Either way, I know they got Spokane's ceramic bots. Ceramic bots. That would be really weird. They would break really easy. Anyway, they got their Spokane's Cyberamics, and I don't know, maybe if you guys know what happened to the CEI bots that were on the 3-stage here, but they got switched out and made into Cyberamics and put onto this stage. So that was why Jasper always had his PTT mask on at this location, was because it came from the Spokane Pizza Time Theater, former Pizza Time Theater store. And also, I believe that is why that Spokane location still has that stained glass Pizza Time Theater window, which I'll put a shot of that up. It's just so amazing to see when you walk into that store. So that's a cool little piece of history between these two locations. Anyway, those bots performed here from the year 2000 all the way up until last July of 2023 when this location closed. This location closed because the owner of this building that they were leasing it from closed it down because he's going to tear it down and build condos. Although clearly it wasn't in a hurry, because here we are 9 months later in March of 2024 and still no condos and no activity whatsoever, except it closed down Chuck E. Cheese. You'd think they could have just left them be open for another 9 months. But anywho, what do I know? Anyway, I've always thought something very interesting about this location. I don't exactly know. It's got 2 stories though. And I can still see the stuff up in the 2nd story. I want to say I saw a sign on the end of the building, so I'm sure that'll tell us what's up there. And maybe that's why it's still going. Oh, okay. So it's a school, Slater Insurance School. So maybe their lease is a little bit longer, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, because they still have lights and everything on. Yeah, there's still offices up there with stuff in them. So my guess is maybe their lease was a little bit longer than Chuck E. Cheese's. And maybe they're just fulfilling their lease and Chuck E. Cheese's was just up and they just didn't want to renew it. So they got them out. And then when these guys are done, once they're out, then they'll probably tear the building down. See, we completely got to the bottom of that mystery. Look at us. Deductive reasoning peoples. Got it done. Anywho, for that reason, this building is still standing here empty. And, but, you know, just in case you were wondering, there is still no skateboarding. So what is cool is that they did not board up the windows, so, which is kind of amazing. So this would have been the arcade that's directly in front of me, and beyond that was the kind of the open area that also had booths that led up to the counter. Hold on, sorry. Like through that opening, that walkway opening, would have gone out into a little bit more of an arcade. There was a few booths, and then right to the left would have been the ordering counter for the kitchen, and then a hallway that would have led down this way going toward the showroom. And that would have been more of this. So that was the other end of the arcade. So that wall on the left there is the back wall of the showroom. And that back wall would have faced the stage. And so the wall in front of me, and then is that hallway that would have run all the way along the side of the showroom, and then you would have walked into the showroom on the side. It would have emptied out into it. And I'll, of course, put in footage of my visit there to kind of show how that went, but that's pretty cool. I walked over here, see if we can see any closer. Looks like they still have lights on in the kitchen. Not quite sure why, but I guess there's still power to the building, so that's not that crazy. But yeah, there's an opening right here to walk from the showroom. The kids could go from the showroom into the arcade area right here. But for some reason, the windows here in the showroom are completely blacked out. I tried shining a light in them, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You can't see a single thing in here. And so there's something over them on the inside. My guess is they were blacked out before to keep the showroom dark, and they just didn't take down the covering because it was an actual showroom. So that would be my guess. I don't think they put up anything else since they closed. So I'm sure they just left whatever was up there. In fact, I'll look in my footage and see if I can spot anything, and I'll just point it out in it. But yeah, so it's closed. It's gone. A very cool location. This was not one of a kind. It was for the last 3 years of its existence, but there was another 3-stage with Cyberamics on it, and that was in Springfield, Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was Massachusetts. They had one, but only for a few years. I think 2017 to when they closed, and they're during the pandemic. So, but for many years, it was one of a kind, a 3-stage with Cyberamics instead of the old CEI bots. What made this store so cool and unique was it kept so many of the aspects of that. I guess not so much as just showbiz, because it had the showroom still lined out, but it also kept that phase 3. Had all the old art, and it looked like the 90s. You walked in just like Northridge did, and it was just such a throwback store. I mean, it was just really cool, and it was just one of those really neat stores to visit. I really enjoyed my visit here. It's really disappointing that they closed it. I mean, these things happen. I get why. It's a bummer that this history goes away. I mean, but we can't keep it forever. If you're gonna walk around the back of the building just to see what's back here. But I'm sure nothing, because it's a working business, obviously, for whatever else is upstairs, the school. And of course, anything Chuck E. Cheese related is long gone. Cleared out last summer. But yeah, so just went down where their dumpsters were, I guess. Anywho, not a long video. Just thought I would throw in some footage from my visit here for the inside, and we would look at the condition of the outside, how it is now. I, of course, don't know when this will be torn down. It's whenever the upstairs tenant is out. But whenever they do get torn down, it might be cool to be here if someone's around to get those window awnings, you know. Those might be cool. I mean, they're definitely out of the early 90s for sure. Anyway, it's cool that the windows aren't boarded up. You can definitely see the old setup inside, and that's pretty neat. And, it's a cool old store, former showbiz, and a lot of old history in there. So, but anyway, I still like finding these, abandoned Chuck E. Cheese's that are still around, especially when they're former showbiz. I mean, that's awesome. And especially when we can actually see in the windows. I mean, you would expect this to be boarded up, honestly. I'm really surprised. But again, it was only, taken out not long ago. And with the business upstairs, they probably don't want that look of boarded up windows on the bottom. So I get why they didn't board it up. But if you're in the neighborhood, it's definitely cool just to take a peek in the windows, stop by, take a picture. Won't be here much longer. And it's got a cool history behind it, and hopefully we covered all of it. So definitely comment below and let me know what I missed. I'm sure you will anyway. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you at the next one, guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.